Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Saturday, the 4th of December 2021. Today was match day and it was glorious, absolutely fantastic as we put Birmingham to the sword. We won a 3-1 at home against Birmingham City, fantastic result, and played really well. Yeah, some good stuff going on there today. So what happened? So this is the report from newsatden.co.uk. Millwall picked up their first win in 5 championship games to start December with 3 points as they dispatched Birmingham City 3-1 at the Den on Saturday afternoon. Goals from Murray Wallace and Tom Bradshaw had the hosts in charge of the break. Troy Deeney pulled one back for the visitors, but George Evans-Curler ensured a comfortable victory for Gary Rowett's side. Mill started brightly considering their record in the first half of games this season. They got forward early, giving the back line of Birmingham a lot to think about. The link-up play of Benicofobia and Bradshaw looked promising. There was a poignant moment in the 6th minute. The ball was put out of play as both sets of players joined the supporters in a touching minute's applause in memory of Arthur Libinjo Hughes. The Lions took the lead in the 11th minute. A short corner was played to Evans, whose shot was blocked, but the rebound fell to Wallace, and he made no mistake. A 4th goal of the season in all competition for the Scottish defender. Now that sentence there, a short corner, that is underselling it massively. I don't know if you've seen the highlights yet, or if you were at the game. This was a corner routine that the likes of which we haven't seen at the Den before, or maybe we have a long time. So far back we've forgotten about it. Yeah, it was a lot of well, you've got to see it to believe it, but it was kind of short passing and then short passing and then a shot, and then Murray Wallace was just ran in and took up the deflection and smashed it in. But that was a corner routine that they seem to be working on, and it paid dividends there. So Birmingham offered little in response. Scott Hogan having their best chance of cutting inside onto his stronger side after he fired a tame effort straight at Bartosz Białkowski. The Lions doubled their lead before the break again from a corner. Scott Malone's cross was met by Bradshaw with a powerful close-range header, which left Neil Etheridge with no chance. It could have been 3-0 in the 54th minute. Jed Wallace's looping ball over the top of the Blues' defence was fiercely struck by Bradshaw, but Etheridge was equal to it. 2 minutes later, that save was all the more important as Blues captain Deeney brought the visitors back into the game. He combined well with Hogan and unleashed an unstoppable strike into the net. Phobia forced another save from Etheridge as Millwall tried to restore their 2-goal advantage, and briefly they thought they had when the ball ended up in the City net, but the linesman's flag was raised. The 3rd goal did eventually arrive though. Danny McNamara's cutback found Evans, who curled a beautiful effort into the top corner. Once again, Etheridge left with no chance. Etheridge had to be alert to prevent a 4th Millwall goal, making 2 fine stops in succession, first to deny Wallace and then Malone. Talking points. Lions find their shooting boots but still lacking clean sheets. Millwall have lacked goals this season with just 20 in 20 games before today. That has been even more telling as the clean sheets have not been there to compensate for the lack of goals. However, that changed today. 3 goals scored, and it could well have been more had it not been for Etheridge. The loss of Danny Ballard is huge, as he's been excellent this season. The frailties at the back have not gone away, and that will be of concern to Lions boss Rowett, though the finish from Deeney was of Premier League quality. Jake Cooper returns in the back 3. Rowett had been starting with 4 at the back in recent home games and a whole last week, but reverted back to 3 centre-halves today. That partly down to the loss of Ballard, who had surgery on a knee injury earlier this week. That also opened the door for Cooper's return. The defender missed a 1-1 draw with Bournemouth through suspension and was on the bench for the defeat at Hull. It has not been the greatest first half of the campaign for the former Reading man. Inconsistency and injuries have played a role in that, but he was largely untroubled throughout this contest. The back three returned as the Lions lined up in a 3-4-3 formation, with Jed Wallace joining Afobe and Bradshaw up front. The link of play of the latter two at Hull was good as it was here, hinting that this could be a regular partnership. 2-2 for Bradshaw. It was a year ago, December 2020, the last time Bradshaw had scored in back-to-back championship games. He has hit form recently. This was his third goal in 6 games. A positive for Millwall after a week in which they lost Ballard and Ryan Leonard to long-term injuries. The team news. Rowett made 3 changes to the side that lost 2-1 at Hull City last weekend. Cooper came in for Ballard. Evans replaced George Saville and Malone started in place of Shea Ojo. And the Millwall team was Biakowski, Hutchinson, Murray Wallace, Cooper, McNamara, Billy Mitchell, Evans, Malone, Jed Wallace, Bradshaw and Afobe, and Alex Pearce came on for Malone in the 86th minute. Clifton Bell came on for Jed Wallace in the 83rd minute, and Mason Bennett came on for Bradshaw in the 89th minute. The subs not used were Long, Ojo, Saville and Smith. So there you go. That was a lot better. It was a lot better. And it was good to see that kind of attacking intent at home. We've been missing it. We haven't had that. Well, we have in flashes. But to start off so brightly, to get the 2 goals in the first half, absolutely fantastic. And to keep that going, even though they pulled one back and it was 2-1, and then we just kept on going, and we got the 3rd goal, and it was coming because we were all over them, firmly in control. As you can see on the right hand side where that leaves us in the table. We are now in 8th position. We've gone up 2 places from 10th with 30 points, goal difference of +1. Stoke are just above us in 7th. They play later on. So do QPR. I don't know if they're playing each other. Maybe they are. I haven't checked. But you can see we are now 3 points off of Coventry in that last playoff place. Now, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't matter if we get in 6th place now. We need to be in 6th place by or above by the way that last game of the season. After that's played, where we are, that's where we want to be, you know. There's no point getting in the playoff places now because we could still fall out of them. But we need to make sure that we're there or thereabouts, and then right at the end, get going. But yeah, fantastic result there. So what's Gary Rowett saying about that? So Gary Rowett has praised for Mill's staff set piece efforts as they play a part in 3-1 win over Birmingham. Gary Rowett praised Mill assistant manager Adam Barrett and first team coach Paul Robinson. That's the I don't know what you call him, former Brum, Paul Robinson. It's not the ex-Millwall player Paul Robinson. We've got 2 Paul Robinsons in the coaching setup at the Den. Robbo is the former Millwall player. He's in the under-23s assistant. For their work on set pieces after the South London club's 3-1 win over Birmingham City today. The Lions' opening 2 goals came from corners. Murray Wallace struck the Lions ahead, and then Bradshaw headed Scott Malone's corner emphatically past Neil Etheridge. Although Troy Deeney gave Birmingham hope with an excellently taken finish, George Evans smashed in an explosive 3rd goal for Millwall. And Rowett said, "It's probably the most complete performance over the 90-odd minutes. We've started well in a lot of games this season, but what we've not always managed to do is score that first goal. And we've managed to score 2 goals in as many games. 2 set pieces, that shows the importance of that in this division. Scoring in that way just takes games away from teams and makes it very difficult. Ads has worked incredibly hard with Paul Robinson and the staff on set pieces. We've been a little bit critical of the fact we haven't scored enough this season or been dangerous enough. The first was a really well worked short one which Adam had highlighted he was a bit worried earlier that it might not go to plan. I'm not sure that was quite his terminology. We didn't score with the first one with Evans, but Murray Wallace finished it off. Bradshaw then scores the second one. Against a team like Birmingham, that's a difficult way to beat them because they are pretty strong at set pieces and the physical side. First half we were excellent, an excellent value to be 2-0 up. Evans was one of two changes for Millwall as he took George Saville's place in the centre of midfield. Sav took a few knocks up at a hole and I didn't think it was at his best physically, said Rowett. I just thought it was a good time to give him a little breather. He'll come good for us again and come back in the future. It was a tough decision today because I had George Evans, who had been playing really, really well before he got injured. Mikael Keftenberg was a fantastic character and trained brilliantly. He'd have been absolutely desperate to start today. I could have gone either way, but I felt as though Evans might have given us something different on the ball. Overall, he was excellent and it's a brilliant finish for the goal. We've had 10 shots on target, which is unheard of for us. It would have been criminal if we hadn't scored more than 2 goals today. I'm not just saying this for effort, but I'm a little bit disappointed we didn't score more than 3. It was a really good performance. So, moving on to more from Gary Rowett. This is from news@then.co.uk. Millwall boss Gary Rowett hailed the performance of his side as they scored more than 2 goals in a league game for the first time this season in their 3-1 win over Birmingham City at the Den. He was asked afterwards if it felt like a rare, straightforward win. And that's basically the same as what I've just read. Sorry, I haven't that's word for word basically what I've just read from the London News Online. So let's move on to this one. He's a great kid. Millwall manager on Danny Mack after assist in win over Birmingham City. Gary Rowett feels Danny McNamara will get better and better after the defender provided an assist for Millwall's third goal against Birmingham City on Saturday. McNamara set up George Evans as the Lions clinched a 3-1 win. Rowett has said recently that McNamara needs to add goals and assists to his game, and the former Ireland under-21 international stepped up to the plate against Lee Bowyer's side. He was excellent, Rowett said. We've done quite a lot of work with Danny on it. Different members of staff. Paul Robinson has done a lot of work with him, spent time after training. He's a willing worker. He's a great kid. He just wants to get better and better. Sometimes you can get a little bit tense in those situations rather than just relax. What I liked about him was he's earned that run because he made the challenge on the defender and it broke for him. He showed a lot of determination. He's got his head up and he's looked for the right pass, waited, and it's a fabulous finish by Evans. I think Danny will do that more and more the more he plays. He's a young player like Billy Mitchell, and they're getting better and better each game. Millwall went 2-0 up through goals through Murray Wallace and Tom Bradshaw. It was Bradshaw's 3rd goal in 6 games. And Rowett added, I thought our front 3 looked a real handful today. Any ball down the side we had worked on trying to drag them into areas. I felt Jed would cause problems, and he did. Just that movement, interaction with that front 3 to try and get into good areas. I thought that Benecophobia was immense, that physicality, and he's added that extra bit of work rate and drive that we wanted to see from him. Brad is in really good run of form. He looks like he's just playing with that little bit of more freedom. Jed was excellent as well. We've got Shea waiting in the wings. He was unfortunate not to start today. We've got Mason. We've got good options, and we've only got good options if people step up, start scoring goals. At the moment, touch wood, they have. So it was very, very noticeable the way that Jed Wallace was playing. So they were doing little deft, little dinky passes to space for the Millwall player to run onto, and then that was causing the Birmingham player to run after them and run with them, and that was then opening up space. So that was so Rowett saying that was intentional there. They were trying to do that, and they were doing that very well. Jed Wallace was following the instructions to a T. He was absolutely brilliant. These little dinking balls into spaces just past the defenders where they were playing the line, trying to get offside, and then once he plays the ball through or over, and then McNamara or whoever, Afobe was run onto it, and then they've got to, the Birmingham defenders have got to run back and close down, and then that makes up creates space for other Millwall players to do stuff in, and you could see that today. There was a lot of that going on. Very whatever the game plan was, it worked to a T. Absolutely fantastic. So moving on now, from the other side, what's happening with Lee Bowyer? What's he say? We're going to finish with this. So Birmingham boss Lee Bowyer: we didn't compete well enough with Millwall's players. This from londonnewsonline.co.uk, South London Press's online website, and he says Lee Bowyer pulled no punches about Birmingham City's 3-1 defeat at the Den against Millwall on Saturday afternoon. Bowyer said, "It is a difficult place to come, a very hostile crowd. All the players yesterday were told, if you come here and don't fight and compete, then you're going to lose the game. If you don't stick together as a group, you will lose the game. And we were too soft in the first half. We allowed them to win every second ball. And the basics of the game, set pieces, it's not good enough. Marking, it's not like us. We're normally better than that. We carried too many in the first half. We had to be braver once we scored, and we didn't. I'm thinking we're on top here. We had a couple of good chances before we scored. Get that second one and we would have probably gone on and won it. For some reason we stopped doing the things that were hurting them in the first 15 minutes of the second half. That's Millwall's strength, set pieces. They're a big side and you have to compete. But first 45 we were soft, very soft, not good. You can't give them a 2-goal head start. You don't get 10 clean sheets out of 20 games with defending like that. Even the third goal, he ran off the back at Riley, he switched off for a split second. That seemed to be us today, second best. So Lebo, you're not happy, and I don't know why. That makes me happy that he's not happy, because I don't know why. Because it means Millwall won the game, and we won it well. 3-1, absolutely fantastic result today. Can we have more of that, please? Can we? We've got Peterborough in a week's time. After that, we've got Preston North End. And then on Boxing Day, we've got Swansea. The pace has slowed down. We've got one game a week. And you could see they had time to work on those corner routines. Paid off today. We go to Peterborough in a week's time. Another win would be fantastic. Thank you very much, Gary Wright and the Millwall team. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye.